Hi, I'm Sam Langley-Swain and I'm here today to read my book to you for the Book Trust. It's called Storm in a Jar and it's written by me and illustrated by Katie Cottle, published by Arlo Press. I hope you enjoy it. Arlo visited Nana every Sunday. Her house was always full of flowers and she would always have new sweets for him inside a glass jar. But one Sunday, Arlo's visit was very different. Mum explained that Nana had passed away, which meant they wouldn't see her again. All the flowers had dried out and the sweet jar was empty. As Arlo saw his family sorting everything into boxes, he realised that Nana wasn't coming back. "Wait!" shouted Arlo as his uncle tossed the sweet jar into the charity shop box. He grabbed the jar and held it tightly. The sugar inside flew up to form dusty little clouds trying to escape. The next day, Arlo decided he would always keep the jar next to him. It made him feel safe during the sad times. Even though the clouds grew dull and grey, Arlo wanted to keep the smell of Nana and her house inside the jar, so he never opened it. Weeks passed. Arlo often felt sad as he thought of all the questions he wished he'd asked Nana when she was alive. His sadness turned to anger. The jar felt heavy and filled with a moody sea swirling underneath the gloomy grey clouds. At school, Arlo got into fights with the other children who teased him for carrying the jar. When the teacher spoke to him about it, Arlo clenched his fists. His body felt tense as he stared into the jar. The clouds were getting bigger and darker. Then lightning began to flicker. As Mum gave Arlo a hug after school, the jar felt even heavier. Waves whooshed wildly inside the glass. Broken boats and giant black jellyfish appeared, whirling around in the dark water. That night, Arlo lay in bed trying to sleep. As his feelings grew stronger and stronger, the storm in the jar grew angrier and angrier. "I've had enough!" Arlo shouted. He held the jar high above his head and smashed it onto the ground. The glass shattered. Lightning cracked. Thunder bellowed. The storm escaped, shaking the whole house. And the swirling sea took Arlo, his bed, the broken boats, and all of the black jellyfish out of his bedroom window and into the dark ocean beyond. Then the water calmed. Arlo was alone in his bed, sailing on a smooth moonlit ocean. He saw something in the light of the moon. It was Nana, sailing away on a boat made of sweets and flowers. She smiled at Arlo and blew him a big kiss. Arlo waved back. At that moment, he knew that Nana would be safe and happy wherever she was headed. The next morning, the jar was still there, with its sugary clouds swirling inside. Arlo told Mum all about his scary, stormy dream. She handed him the jar and whispered, "Everything we keep bottled up inside always finds a way of coming out." With his hand in hers, they gently opened the lid. The dusty clouds drifted from the jar and floated out through the window. Arlo let out a sigh of relief. He could smell Nana, her house full of flowers, and the years of sweets that had been in the jar. "We all miss Nana," Mum smiled softly. That afternoon, Dad and Arlo took a walk to the florist and the corner shop. Arlo skipped home holding a paper bag bursting with sweets, the kinds that Nana used to buy for him. They both sat on Arlo's bed. "We won't be needing this anymore," Dad winked, throwing the lid into the bin. After what had felt like a very long time, Arlo's face finally lit up with a warm smile. With a little water, they placed Nana's favourite flowers into the jar one by one. And they did the same thing together every Sunday. I hope you enjoyed that story about bottling up big feelings. And if you'd like to buy the book, it's available from all good booksellers or from arlopress.com.